All right, and we are live again back on Sunday with another Wrestling Talk Sunday, episode number 3. Live here with the Bizarre One, Dave. How you doing today?
Good.
All right, well, let's just jump right into episode number 3. And the things we have lined up today to talk about are Sting having his first official interview with the WWE, CM Punk officially saying that he is never going to come back to the WWE, and we'll get on a little bit on Brock Lesnar, and we'll also touch on TNA Impact as we saw 2 surprise guests show up at the end of Impact Thursday night. So let's jump right into Sting's interview. I'm sorry?
It was actually an appearance, though, technically, too, wasn't it? For the first WWE appearance?
Yes, it was actually his first official WWE appearance at Comic-Con with Daniel Bryan, Hulk Hogan, and Paul Heyman. So that's a pretty...
How would you there? Wow.
Yeah, that's a treat right there. I'm not sure what all was asked. I'm sure there was, they have a Q&A and everything, so not sure what everything was asked to Sting by the fans. I'm sure, the same old questions. But afterwards, he had an interview for WWE.com. It's on their website, I believe, even on YouTube. That's where I found it. And they asked him a couple of questions. Some of the questions that we have been wondering about for years ourselves. I think one of them, they asked him about the dream match between him and Taker. They asked him, he cleared up the rumors of him never being on WWE, being on, on good terms with the WWE. He said that was false. He said he doesn't know how that rumor came about. He also said him and Vince have been pretty close the last couple of years. He said that he was pretty close to coming to the WWE a few years ago, but decided to stay where he was at. He also said he couldn't come from WCW to the WWE when it was bought out because of legal issues from his contract or something. I'm not really sure what he meant by that. He really didn't get into it.
I actually seen where he put this on a DVD, even though he did it with TNA, but he put this on a DVD. This is what he said why he didn't go. This is from his words that he's seen Booker T show up at that one pay-per-view, and they basically said, "Who are you?" And Sting basically said in the interview he's going to have to rebuild his entire brand all over again. He just didn't feel like he would have to
but I don't see why Sting would think that. I mean, everybody knows who Sting is, but
but at that time,
I guess he doesn't want to. I feel him. I guess I understand. They also asked him.
Yeah, go ahead.
They also asked him about the dream match between him and Taker. Said he was disappointed that the streak ended last year or this past year, but he says he would still love to face Taker. And I mean, right now it would make the most sense for him to face Taker because you would actually not know who's gonna win.
Yeah, obviously you would though. I mean, come on.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, Taker could put Sting over.
Yeah, easy.
Over. So I mean, it could happen. I mean,
I honestly do not see Vince McMahon see Sting as the WCW or not even TNA, but the WCW guy. He is not going to have WCW's biggest superstar come to WrestleMania and beat his biggest superstar. There's no way that's happening. I think it'll be an epic match. But I just don't see Vince McMahon letting or wanting Sting just to come in after he's been on TNA TV for the past 10 years.
Yeah, but a lot of people... But honestly, Dave, come on. The regular WWE fan, other than, the hardcores know who the TNA is. But if you go into an arena and ask, a random person that doesn't look like a big wrestling fan if they know what TNA is, I'm sure they're not going to think of a wrestling.
I don't even mean TNA so much. I mean, I'm saying WCW more than anything.
But
Not
that's
so
not,
much TNA.
I don't feel the same on that because a lot of WCW guys have came over to WWE and look where they're at now. I mean Jericho, Booker
Yeah,
T.
but he had to
Um,
be. Yeah, they had to basically build up their brand all over again to become the stars they are.
but look
Chris
what they're
Benoit,
doing.
same thing.
Look what they're doing with Sting now. They're putting him on a video game. They brought out a new shirt
Yeah,
for him. They're pretty much rolling out the red carpet for Sting, in
they
my
did the
opinion.
same thing last year though too with the Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, do I think Sting's going into the Hall of Fame this year? I mean, it's a
Yes,
possibility. I mean,
or
next
next
year
year.
it could be a possibility. It's a
Yeah, he's going.
possibility. Yeah. I
I
mean,
think that's what they're gonna do.
he even mentioned in the interview that he would love to face Triple H, and and
I don't know about that.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna discredit Chris Triple H right now because he
No,
gets a lot of hate, honestly, and I'm gonna in the last since WrestleMania, I think Triple H has been pretty good.
yeah, agreed. I agree,
I
but
mean,
if I could pick one person besides the Undertaker for him to really face, besides Orton, like who's out there I'd love to see, it'd be Shawn Michaels and Sting. Honestly, that'd be a great match to see. But it's never
mm,
gonna happen. But I'm just saying that would be an awesome match, dream match right there to see too.
I mean, I understand. I see where you're coming from on that one, and I totally agree with you. I would love to see them two go at it, but they're old now. I mean, I'm sure they'll put on a great match, but
Oh yeah,
I think if they made it right, I think the best storyline or anything like that would be Randy Orton and Sting. In my
yeah.
opinion, and if they made it correctly, you just have Sting ruin his because you got to think if they're gonna have some kind of
Yeah, that would be the perfect way too. And Sting beats Randy Orton at Wrestling. That would be a perfect instead of having him face the number one guy. You really don't, and plus, you don't want to put Undertaker in WrestleMania losing 2 years in a row.
yeah, that's true. You don't want to have him lose back-to-back WrestleManias. Yeah, because I
So if
get you
they
on
did
that.
do it that way, if we can't have Sting versus Undertaker, which to me, Plan B would probably be Orton and Sting.
I mean, because it makes perfect sense. He's the icon Sting, and you got the legend killer Randy Orton. It just makes sense, especially if he's going to go into the Hall of Fame that year. I mean, you got to consider Sting a legend.
Yeah.
So,
And
you know,
I'm sure Orton knows Sting, and they've been around each other before with his family history.
yeah, and honestly, Randy Orton hasn't had his WrestleMania moment yet.
Uh, he's had some.
Other than facing the Undertaker, he
I
hasn't
mean,
really had a WrestleMania moment, and he can
oh,
have two. He can
what
have
about?
he could be the man who faced Sting at WrestleMania.
I thought that was a great match. Legacy, the triple threat match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but is that a WrestleMania moment? Like, is that a match you'd really say, yeah? Like, I can name 15 other matches Randy Orton has had that were better than that Legacy match.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. The Shawn Michaels versus Jericho, the Undertaker versus was not that type of WrestleMania moment. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The marquee, yeah.
Yeah, because you would
He's
think
each match.
you would think if Randy Orton faced Sting at WrestleMania, he'd because you know how they had the main event, the co-main event. I don't think it'd be the co-main event because obviously that's for the champ.
Now,
And
if
that's
they do what you said before, which is Triple H versus Sting, if they wanted to, they could use that as kind of a power play for Sting versus Triple H.
yeah, if they want to get rid of the authority.
Yeah, they could have it where Sting represents, or what the locker room, which I guess would be really stupid to do Sting for that. Though it would have to be a young
Well, I
guy.
mean, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can use it as they want Triple H out as authority. They want someone they don't want an authority. They just want something different.
And
And maybe Vince McMahon brings in Sting or someone brings in Sting to take on Triple H. Because
yeah, because
a WrestleMania loss for Triple H is nothing,
yeah,
honestly.
it doesn't mean nothing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because there was rumors last year that WrestleMania 30 was supposed to be Triple H versus a McMahon guy, I guess you want to use that phrase, for control of the company. That was rumored to be last year's match with Triple H.
Yeah.
They were going to do, but they could do something like that. Yeah, I mean, where you could have. And Sting did go on to say in an interview, I don't remember which one it was, but he said that he would be all in favor of doing TV programs for the WE, be an on-air personality.
Yeah.
He said he wouldn't mind that. I think his kids are all grown up anyway.
Yeah. And I'm sure WWE would get him some type of deal to where, he doesn't have to be on TV all the time, or, he
even
only
if he
has to
did
do
like,
Raws. I mean, even if he does Raws, he'll be off for like a week. Like JBL.
yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
JBL
if he
lives
did
a
like
life.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was like co-GM with somebody or something like that, or the commissioner thing, where you only have to be there on Raw once a week. Yeah, they could do something like that.
Yeah. So expect to see possibly. I'm gonna say you see Sting in October.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Around the video game time.
Yeah. The game.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with that. But who knows? We could be wrong. But let's move on to another newsworthy item of the week, and this actually happened during Raw or on Monday night, where CM Punk was interviewed, and he basically said that he is never coming back to WWE. So.
But he said that kind of sarcastically, and that's not all he said either. He said it like, "Well, I'm never, ever coming back." Oh, that's gonna send Twitter crazy. That's exactly.
Well, and we just lost Dave because he's using his phone like a crazy man. Let me. Oh, there's Dave back. He's probably gonna lose connection. I bet it's his phone. But anyways, yeah, he did kind of say it in a sarcastic manner. I'm sorry. Do I think he's coming back anytime soon? No, I think he's enjoying his little retired life. I mean, who wouldn't? Put his body up in matches for the last 5 or 6 years of his career. I don't blame him for wanting to not quit, but to basically, put up the boot for a little bit. Am I upset how he left? 100%. I don't think he left the right way. I mean, if you're tired of wrestling, or if you're tired of doing what you're doing, or if you're just tired of the politics in wrestling, I mean, don't go out like that. I mean, Austin did go out with the grabbed his ball and went home because he didn't want to lose to Brock Lesnar on Raw, I believe. But Austin did coming back, and CM Punk is just looking like he's leaving WWE on bad terms. That's not really smart of him to do if he ever gets hurting on money, which I don't see happening with him, or if he ever maybe gets the urge to wrestle again. Because I don't think he's going to go to a TNA event. I mean, he could go to an ROH and do maybe one match and sell out a nice arena or so, but do you really think he's going to sell out? I mean, I don't think he's going to be wrestling anytime soon. Maybe he comes back in a year or two. That would be excellent. He'll get the juices flowing again and maybe want to come back and do one more match or do a little part-time deal like what's his face does, Chris Jericho. I don't see why he wouldn't want to do that possibly. He's not hurting on money obviously because he's married to AJ Lee, who's probably making a good amount of money herself, and just didn't really care for the way he left the WWE. I think he could have left it on a little bit better terms. Could have came out there and just laid it out on the line and said, I'm tired of wrestling, I need a break. Or, I'm retiring, like he supposedly has retired, it's looking like. But that's here or nor there for us to judge someone on when they want to, retire from what they're doing. And he did put his body on the line, like I said earlier. Like 300 days a week. He was a champion for over 300 days, 300 and something days. I can't remember the exact day number. So he was a champion performing um, performing every night, Raw, probably even on SmackDown, house shows, stuff like that, doing public appearances, stuff like that. It just probably just worn out, probably couldn't do it. He couldn't handle it anymore, and just wanted maybe his own life, wanted to do stuff before he, how they say with the wrestlers, they die at a young age, and you know, Hogan, I'm sorry, Ultimate Warrior is kind of a guy who didn't, live a full, healthy life. Could have been, drugs or whatever have you with Ultimate Warrior, but there's a lot of, you know, people that you can throw at guys to make you want to retire at a young age when you're a wrestler, because of a lot of these guys dying at a young age uh, from wrestling a little bit too long. Too long. You can mention Hogan all you want, but Hogan to me wrestled because of different reasons, and they weren't because he loved wrestling. And I'm a big Hogan fan, but I think he wrestled because he needed money. He he was going through a pretty bad divorce, and you know his son got excuse me in a car wreck or whatever have you, and I think paralyzed someone. So they were they were in some financial problems. So him coming back to TNA and all that stuff was just for the money. WWE, I mean, it could be a different story. I mean, sure, he's probably getting paid good now, but he maybe he actually missed it. And going to TNA those number of years probably woke him up and seeing what he was missing out. Being in a little small company as in TNA to be where WWE is now, going and performing in front of 15, 20,000 fans every night on Raw. But hopefully Dave will come back. If not, I'll just finish this episode on my own. After that, we had TNA Impact we were going to talk about, and we had two surprises, if you want to say, with Ezekiel Jackson and Snitsky showing up at the end of Impact to help save the day. There was a street fight between Spud, EC3. I think it was just them two, wasn't it? Yeah, against Bubble. No, 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 no. I'm missing someone. And Rhino. There you go. Against Tommy Dreamer, Bubble, Bully Ray, and Devon. And Snitsky and Ezekiel saved the day. We also got the return of King Mo. Not really sure if he's showing up just for a couple appearances. If there's maybe a Bellator fight coming up with him on the card, I would not be surprised. That's probably why they have him on the show, to kind of cross advertise a little bit. But yeah, we get that match. Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray lose because of Ezekiel Jackson and Snitsky, so I'm guessing they're a little bit a part of Dixie Carter's group for now. I'm not sure how long they're staying in TNA. We also got Austin Aries going with option C, and that is putting up his X Division title and going after the World Championship, which he will be doing next week at Destination. Whew, talk, Anthony. At Destination X against Bobby Lashley for the world title. There was also announced that the Hardys will be taking on the tag champions in the I can't remember, the American Wolves. You know who they are, Edwards and all them. So it should be Destination X is probably a must-see uh, wrestling show. I would assume, I would imagine it's already pre-taped. Excuse me. Oh, Dave's back. All right. Welcome back, Dave.
Sorry about that. I tried to log into the wrong thing.
Yeah, we're talking about Impact Review. I just mentioned about Ezekiel Jackson and Snitsky showing up, and option C with Lashley and the Hardy Boys taking on the Wolves.
Impact sucked. I mean, doesn't mean we're talking about sucked. I mean, like you said, they only brought these guys in. I'm sure you already said this for 1 week, for a few weeks or whatever. That's it. For a few days, I guess you can call it. And now, spoiler alert, they're hearing about another XWE guy showing up either next week or coming up soon.
Yeah, Tajiri.
Exactly, and that's like for a couple of days, which I'm really excited to see him again. I think it's really cool. I haven't seen him in years, but it's like
I just think they're just trying to throw all these guys out just to get ticket sales. That's all.
yeah, and it's kind of like what ECW used to do back in the day. You know, you'd always see these big surprises at big pay-per-views and stuff like they used to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it was really cool seeing a low key, you know, back in a 5-minute match. That's about it. But I don't know how long he's going to be there for. 1 day, and that's it.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys are having them just do special appearances, which I don't care for because
And it's
you're
stupid.
not going to see them again.
Like a guy like Low Key was a big part of the TNA early years. I mean, Triple Threat, I believe it was him, Daniels, and Skipper.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it Triple Threat or was it Triple X? My bad. Triple Threat's ECW. Triple X.
Yeah, they had some good stuff back in the day with him, but
yeah, now it's just like garbage.
yeah, now we're gonna see the Wolves take on the Hardys, which that's a must-see match, I think.
Yeah, I want to see it. Yeah, and Aries and Lashley, I kind of want to see that. I don't know what else is supposed to happen.
Yeah, they are really portraying Lashley like Lesnar, in my opinion.
They're betraying him?
Yes, how MVP does all the talking, and Lashley just sits there.
Well, that's kind of a reason because Austin Aries did kind of get him good on Twitter, but I mean, other than that, I mean, Aries isn't really, he's just like, I guess you could say, kind of not like Brock, but kind of like a silent assassin. He doesn't say nothing, he just attacks, you know?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say that they're copying because they're not, but it just reminds me a lot of Brock Lesnar.
See, yeah, because they're trying to get, and dare we talk about this again. I don't know if you mentioned it, but King Mo was on Impact too, and it's like, how much money did you pay this guy to be on there? $10,000? Somewhere in that range.
I think they're having a fight with him soon. Isn't he having a fight?
Well, they signed him a contract, what was it, a couple years ago when it was James Storm and Bobby Roode at Bound for Glory. He was the special enforcer, and that's the last time he ever showed up on Impact. Or on TNA.
I think he's having another fight soon, and they're going to cross over advertise again. But that's all they're doing.
It's stupid.
There'll be more TNA advertising Bellator.
Now, Lashley would be better to me if he was actually fully committed to TNA. But TNA doesn't have that kind of money to pay someone enough to fully commit to TNA. They don't. That's why all their wrestlers are paid part-time and only paid for shows, certain impacts they do. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're not making anything in TNA. They're better off going on half these bigger names are better off going on the indie circuit. Like AJ Styles is making just about as much money as he was in TNA right now, if not more, doing indies.
Yeah, he gets paid on time too. So yeah, I mean, TNA is TNA. But next week, definitely check out Destination X. I think it's gonna be. I think that's a must-see.
Since I didn't hear it, what was your opinion on the CM Punk thing?
The only thing I'm salty with Punk is how he left. Because I can't really judge a man on when he wants to retire. Or he's tired of doing what he wants to. I made it the point that he was the champion for 300 and something days. So that's pretty much of him performing almost every night. You know, Raws, SmackDowns, house shows, doing special appearances. You know, all that stuff, I'm sure finally got to him. And I hate the way he left. I think he left on really, really bad terms. When Paul Heyman when Paul Heyman's making jabs at you, then you did something wrong. And I'm sure even Heyman didn't know about this. I just think it was the wrong way to go about it. If you're tired of doing what you're doing, or if you want to retire, period, go
He
out there
could
like a man.
have finished all his
Just
contract.
go out there like a man and say, I am tired or I'm done with the wrestling for now. I'm hanging up my boots. You may see me back in a couple of years. If not, it was great. It was a great time. Yada yada yada. I think he should have did that. Next week on Raw, CM Punk special announcement. Do something like that. Just
Or
don't
just
leave.
contract. It ended in July. I mean, the WE is. Before I talk about that real quick, but I think honestly, when he said never ever again, I think he said that sarcastically just to say it at Twitter because Twitter's gonna blow up because of it. He said, but I think that's all that was because I've heard wrestlers over the years say this, which maybe he really means he's finally just sick of wrestling. In which it kind of makes me almost question kind of his passion a little bit of the wrestling business a little bit, But I don't want to question him or anything, but what he does is for him, I guess. But as
But
long
if
as
you
he's happy,
okay, you've seen the DVD though, right? You've seen the DVD.
I haven't.
Okay, check the DVD out. He's been wrestling since he was like 15 years old. So he's like in his mid 30s now. So he's 20 plus years of wrestling. And then he finally hit it big. And I mean, he got paid and he's well off. I mean, I'm sure, I'm thinking, my opinion is after he lost the belt, that's when he started losing his love for the
Yeah,
wrestling business.
like Daniel Bryan and compared to CM Punk. I'm not trying to compare the two, but I guess you can a little bit because they're kind of similar roads to the WE. If Daniel Bryan has to retire, it's going to be because of his neck surgery in his neck. It's not going to, and I could say Daniel Bryan could be burnout too, but it just seems like the passion for wrestling is different. Yes, I know CM Punk. Daniel Bryan's been wrestling about the same amount of time CM Punk has.
But I think Punk is older, though.
I think Daniel Bryan's not by much. Daniel Bryan's in his 30s as well.
I don't know, but I just think Punk. Well, Daniel Bryan also didn't hold the belt for over 300 and something days, and I think performing every night and then the way he lost it, like losing it to The Rock, and then
Yeah, but you
that
could
kind of stuff.
compare.
I mean, once he lost that belt, what major storyline was he in other than when he faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I mean Brock, but yeah.
Maybe Punk saw the writing on the wall and said, you know what, this isn't going to get any better for me. But I honestly don't see why he would think that because Vince McMahon is in love with CM Punk. Vince McMahon wants Punk back. But if it was up to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, you will not see that man in a ring ever again. I don't think.
Yeah, because he creates that controversy and that edge that Vince likes to people to push the envelope.
And
That's what
also Vince gets that moolah
yeah, that helps
from
too.
Punk too.
But if I was kind of comparing the two a little bit, this past year of Daniel Bryan's run was kind of not saying it was similar to his 360 everyday reign, but Daniel Bryan kind of went nonstop this past year too, kind of like CM Punk did.
Oh yeah,
Not
yeah.
saying,
I mean, I'm not gonna say. I will not say that Daniel Bryan is not performing or anything like that. Obviously, he was. He performed the hell out of himself to where he can't even wrestle now because he's hurt himself. So, I mean, nothing against Bryan. And I'm not saying that Bryan can't be a Punk, but I just think Punk was just burnt out. If you go look at Punk now and then you go take a look at a picture of him in a year from now or a year ago, you could tell this guy was just worn out.
yeah, and the only difference I see between the two, the WE probably told CM Punk the same thing when he came in. We want you to beef up and get bigger. Well, CM Punk never did. CM Punk has always stayed the same size, relatively. Daniel Bryan, he's changed completely from when he first came in. Daniel Bryan's beefed up a lot since he first came into WWE.
Yeah, but that's also his eating habits too.
Well, yeah, but
That man
Daniel
don't
Bryan,
eat nothing. But
Yeah, his whole vegan, he went back. Yeah.
yeah, but let's continue on so we don't make this video too longer. Let's just talk about TNA, what you think about Destination X next week, and then we'll wrap it up from there because we'll be back on Monday with our Monday Night Raw review. So what do you think about next week?
TNA,
Are you excited? Yeah.
For TNA? I don't know. I mean, I hope the tag match is good and it doesn't get ended up in like some disqualification. Someone runs down and interferes in it, and that's how they end it and set it up for Bound for Glory or something.
Speaking of Bound for Glory, do you miss the Bound for Glory series?
No, I didn't miss it. I thought it was stupid. Oh, this is only worth 8 points. This match is worth 10. Yes, I see the point that some hardcore TNAites might like it because, it makes the matches have more meaning. Which actually,
I just think that last year they fucked up with it, or whatever year they had it with the point system, they just fucked it up because they were just messing up them from the. I mean, I guess I can see what you mean. The only way you like it, like if you're going to a house show, you know that match is worth 8 points. So it's a meaningful match. It's just not a match on a house show card. You know what I mean? I get what you say with that.
I think the smartest thing they should have done with that Bound for Glory series, make it a tournament. Don't make it like some point system. They should have had it like a King of the Ring. Then they would be King of the Ring, but I don't really care as long as they had some type of Bound for Glory tournament. Winner gets a title shot. That's how
like
they
King of the Mountain or whatever it was called.
Yeah, that was a little weird, but yeah. Wasn't that like the ladder thing?
I didn't watch TNA back then, so.
I mean, it was weird. The King of the Mountain match was like a ladder match, but you had to get a pinfall to qualify to climb the ladder. It was confusing as hell.
Sounds like it. But so yeah, next week.
Then their battles. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm glad I didn't see that shit. I would have been confused out of my mind. No, let's end up touching on Raw. We'll be back on Monday night with our Raw review. I'm guessing Cena will be on it. Cena will be on Raw.
I don't know if Brock's.
I don't think we're gonna see Brock. I think we're gonna see.
Because I know it was like Brock confronts John Cena or something like that.
Oh, maybe. Who knows? I'd be surprised if we see Brock. I'll be surprised if we see Brock on Raw, and if not, we'll probably see a head for a promo versus pro versus with Heyman and Cena. That's for sure.
I want to
definitely see Heyman coming down.
Before we in this video,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you touch on SmackDown at all?
No, I did not. Go ahead. Say what you gotta say.
I gotta admit, I'm starting to like Miz's character a little bit more now. The whole Bo Dallas and Miz, I thought we were gonna have a match between those two at first, but it was really cool how they did that whole thing. I think we can end up seeing a tag match eventually with those two, for Ziggler and somebody. But yeah, that was interesting. And then, Ambrose, Cesaro put on a pretty good match. The main event to me this week was SmackDown actually was a pretty good this past week. Just wasn't great. But I mean, I like what they're doing because they're using. You got a guy like Ambrose is getting used like Daniel Bryan kind of was in that year he was hot, and he got like this street look to him, which is kind of like Austin S, I guess, a little bit. The way Austin used to come out and fight all the time.
Yeah.
Probably Pillman more than Austin, because we've all agreed he looks so much like Pillman.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see what they do with him. I mean, they're putting him in good matches. I'm sure we might see another damn rematch with him and Cesaro on Raw.
I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind either. Probably going to see a rematch between Bo Dallas and Ziggler, or The Miz and Ziggler. It's gonna happen.
But
yes, I think. I'm sorry, I was going to touch on The Miz real quick. Yes, I like the character because it fits The Miz. And when The Miz puts his A game on, he can be really good.
And on Friday night, that was one of his best promos he's cut in years. I mean, that was good. I got to give him, that was a great promo he cut. Before Dallas came out, I mean, that stuff with his parents was great. He did that perfectly.
Yeah, so I'll give him that. But
we're going to get Roman Reigns and Miz feud when they start doing that for a minute.
Yeah, you never know. It could happen.
Complain about Roman Reigns for that a little bit, too. They feel like he should be giving the Intercontinental title, not just be given the main event spot in the world title.
Nah. I don't agree. I think Roman Reigns is big time.
I wouldn't mind it, though. I'd see him work his way to the title.
Yeah, they could do it like that way, but I think right now he's hot, so they're going to roll with him. See how
if anyone could do it, Roman Reigns, I'm not saying we'd ever see this again besides the Ultimate Warrior, but Intercontinental Champion versus World Champion, that'd be pretty awesome at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be different. We hadn't seen that in years. I mean, probably since that WrestleMania. So.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, too, but I don't think we'll ever see that.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap our show. I think we went about 30 minutes. So that's a pretty good episode number 3 in the books. We'll be back next week for Wrestling Talk Sunday episode 4. And touch on whatever news we get from the past week. And we will be live on Thursday. We did not do an Impact on Thursday review on Thursday because we just didn't feel like it was worth it. So this Thursday we will do a Destination X review. Got to do it. That's a must, in my opinion. But we will touch on it on Sunday's show as well. We will touch on whatever wrestling news throughout the week, and whatever. If we get any questions from you guys, we will touch on it as well. We'll be back tomorrow night, with a Monday Night Raw review, about 30 minutes after Monday Night Raw. Any questions or any comments before we leave, Dave? Anything?
Just follow and subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe and comment and like our video. And also follow us on Twitter. We would really appreciate it. Hit you guys up tomorrow night and hope you guys have a great end of the weekend and see you guys for our Monday Night Raw review tomorrow.